never made it, but I know what it takes. I'm motivated by a mix of emotion. Got my statement, and I'm reading it slow so I can understand it fully. Appreciate my standing, go out of this world and right on time. Oh, never in my life have I seen the sky light up like this. I'm far away from Earth and I wanna know if you exist. Mission control, do you read me? Send me my coordinates lately. Mission control, am I drifting? Tie me to someone who will love me, yeah. Wait, I think I'll last a bit longer. Find another.
Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone to another Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Wherever you are, whatever you may be doing, thank you so much for making Ref Brandon and the Todd Family a part of your day. We always greatly appreciate it. What a great weekend kickoff we had to the new NASCAR season. Hard to believe it is now the final weekend in the month of February. It'll be March come 1 week from today. But the NASCAR season, as always, started with the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race. We were supposed to have the Craftsman Truck Series race Friday night, the Xfinity Series race Saturday afternoon, and the Daytona 500 Sunday afternoon. Well, the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race, which was called Next Era Energy 250, went down as scheduled at 7:30 Eastern Time last Friday night. But the Xfinity Series race that was supposed to be Saturday afternoon got postponed due to rain. And then they said they were going to race it Sunday night after the Daytona 500. Sunday morning came along and they decided to change the Xfinity Series race and the Daytona 500 to Monday because it was still raining. So then it was going to be the Xfinity Series race at 11 o'clock Eastern Time Monday morning, and then the Daytona 500 Monday afternoon. Then Monday morning came along, and they realized they were not going to have the track dry in time. So the Daytona 500 ran as previously scheduled from Sunday at 4 o'clock Monday afternoon. But then the Xfinity Series race after that started at about 9:15 Eastern Time Monday night. So instead of the weekend being Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it ended up being Friday and then Monday afternoon and Monday night. But the Next Era Energy 250 Craftsman Truck Series race was won by Nick Sanchez, followed by Corey Heim, which, by the way, Corey Heim is from Georgia, followed by Rajah Caruth, Brett Holmes, Spencer Boyd, rounded out the top five. Coming in sixth place was Stephen Parsons. And if you're a long-time NASCAR follower, the name Parsons should sound familiar because there used to be a driver back in the day named Benny Parsons. And then after Benny retired, he became a commentator. But Benny had a younger brother named Phil, who is now a commentator who is up in the booth for the Craftsman Truck Series races. Well, Stephen is the son of Phil Parsons. Matt Crafton, he's still going. Finished 7th, followed by Timmy Hill, Brian Dalzat, and Christian Eckes. And then the Xfinity Series race that ended up starting, as I said a while ago, about 9:15 Eastern Time. Monday night, it was the United Reynolds 300, and it was won by another Georgia boy, Austin Hill, and I believe that's his third straight season opening win at Daytona, followed by Sheldon Creed, Parker Retzloff, Jordan Anderson, Chandler Smith, who is also from Georgia, followed by Riley Herbst, John Nemechek, Justin Allgaier, Brandon Jones, who is also from Georgia, and rounding out the top 10 was A.J. Allmendinger. And the reason why I keep talking about all these drivers being from Georgia, like Corey Heim, Austin Hill, Chandler Smith, Brandon Jones, is because the old NASCAR fans that no longer watch, a lot of them will say, there's no Southern drivers anymore. Well, I'm showing you that that's not true. So if you don't watch it, you've got to find a new excuse, because you can't say there's no Southern roots anymore when there are a lot of drivers that still drive that are from Georgia, South Carolina. There's a ton of drivers from North Carolina and Florida. And then the Daytona 500 for Monday afternoon was won by William Byron, followed by Alex Bowman, Christopher Bell, Corey LaJoy, Darrell Wallace Jr., A.J. Allmendinger, John Nemechek, Eric Jones, and then rounding out the top 10 was two Stewart-Haas drivers, Noah Gragson and Chase Briscoe. And that has to make Tony Stewart feel good, because 2023, the whole Stewart-Haas group was absolutely terrible. And that's putting it nicely and kindly. I know it's just one race, but as abysmal as they were last year, it has to feel good starting the season with Noah Gragson and Chase Briscoe both finishing in the top 10. If you did not see the race, you missed another phenomenal Daytona 500, and they barely missed a green-white checkered finish. If you take the white flag, then the next flag ends the race. William Byron took the white flag, and a split second later, the caution came out. So William Byron won under caution. Had the caution came out a split second earlier, we would have had a green, white, checkered finish. I'm glad the race was good, because I picked Eric Jones last week on the weekly podcast that I do with my man JJ. He didn't win the race, but he finished 8th place, so still got a top 10. I just had a feeling he was going to do good, and he did. But I have said on that podcast with my man JJ, and also I've told Jacob Ashworth, who wrestles at a lot of the places I referee at since January, that I have a feeling it's going to be one of the best, if not the best, most competitive season in the history of NASCAR. I just have that feeling. So we definitely started out that way. Back on track this weekend. All 3 series coming up tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock from Atlanta Motor Speedway. We have the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race at Atlanta, and that's actually what it's called. There is no sponsor name, there's no miles, no kilometers, no laps. It's just called the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race at Atlanta. And again, that's 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Right after that, at 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, we have the Raptor King of Tough 250 for the Xfinity Series, and both of those races will air on Fox Sports 1. And then coming up on Sunday afternoon from Atlanta Motor Speedway, we have the Am Better Health 400. Now, Atlanta, when I was growing up, had some of the best races and the best crowd support in NASCAR. And then about 10 or 12 years ago, for whatever reason, it just fell off. So a couple of years ago, Atlanta decided to do what Daytona does and put restrictor plates on the race cars. And the last couple of years, the Atlanta race has been great, about as good as Daytona. I expect nothing different this weekend. So we have the Trucks and Xfinity Series tomorrow and the Cup Series on Sunday. So if you're a sports fan and a wrestling fan like I am, tomorrow is a very good but very busy day because we have the Elimination Chamber coming up tomorrow morning at 5 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time, and it won't end till probably 8:30 or 9. So you'll have a couple hours to find something to watch or do. And then at 2 o'clock, Truck Series race. 5 o'clock, Xfinity Series race. And then tomorrow night at 7:45, we have Clemson Tiger basketball. So it's going to be a good day to sit on the couch, get some good old sweet tea, and enjoy some basketball, some wrestling, and some NASCAR racing. Any thoughts on any of this, please feel free to let me know. Let's go ahead and get our dad joke of the day in here. I've actually been telling this joke to some folks personally the last couple of days, and everybody thinks this joke is hysterical. So I figured, why not? Let's tell it on the YouTube page. Someone asked me if I knew where they could find a good toupee, and I said, not off the top of my head. And that does it for today's Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Until next time, it's Ref Brandon saying, just like in pro wrestling, life can be over by the count of 3. Tell your friends and family how much you love them. Bye.